Boom, boom. Welcome, family, to episode 8 of the Big Money No Problems Talk podcast show, where we get straight into the point. I'm Chuck, a.k.a. Big Will, with my brother from another AG, a.k.a. Mr. Ileana Jones.
What it do, family? What it do, family?
Already. And we want to put this out there like we always do. Big Money No Problems Talk podcast show is sponsored by Mill Hub Media, Profound Entertainment, where they have a selection of new artists and gamers, such as Reese Bones, whose new album, The Gemini, is streaming everywhere right now. Sweet. And also, continue as well to support the Big Money No Problems ENT family and be on the lookout for some future projects and collabs to be coming soon. So stay tuned in. Show for show.
We come.
You already know. So on today's agenda, man, myself and AG, man, we'll be having a discussion on the generational disconnect in all aspects of our society. You know what I'm saying? And we are talking about movements, entertainment, just all aspects, man. So just the man who came up with it, you know what I'm saying? What's some of your early thoughts, AG?
Man, you know, actually, with this, with the generation disconnect, I had, I was actually talking to my daughter, you know what I mean? We was talking about music and whatnot, and the difference between the hip hop music that she likes versus the hip hop music that I like, you know what I mean? And, just understanding like the music generation now, you know what I mean, and how different it is, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, you know, it's kind of like a certain level of disconnect between the levels of generation, you know what I'm saying? And even with the new artists and the young guys that's out now, the beat sampling. So I was like, hey, you know where that beat came from? That sample was from, you know what I mean, from a Biggie track. That sample was from this and that. You know what I mean? Who was that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, or they might have a feature. You know what I mean? They're like, well, who was that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, you know what? It is a certain level of a certain amount of breachment in between the generations, and I got to even thinking about it even deeper. From my generation to the generation before, you know what I mean, from our generation to the generation before us and the generation before that. I just got to think about how things have changed amongst the, you know what I mean, throughout the duration of the generational changes. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. And it's crazy because I had the same conversation too with my son, man. Like he had came to me, man, it was like, hey, Dad, man, what type of music or what you like to listen to? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, you know, I'm from the old school. So, of course, that 90s era of hip hop and everything like that is what I'm really fond of. So he just started naming off a few artists around his era. And some of these dudes, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was like, I don't even know who these people are. You know what I'm saying? But what I was just trying to explain to him, though, was like listening to this era of music and listening to just from back then when we talking about that generational disconnect, like I said, and we said this on previous shows, like things is made for their time. So the music and shit that he listens to today is made for his time. That's why I can't really get into it heavy, but I understand why the kids like what they like. You get what I'm saying? And it's to me personally, I feel like being able to have that conversation with them, it's still a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still a teaching moment within that.
True, but at the same point in time, I think that with the change of each generation, it's kind of like we lose something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We lose a little bit of substance, we lose a little bit of ourselves, and we lose a little bit of our culture. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the like with the new music, you know what I mean? The new music ain't really more so for the struggle of the community. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a hustling struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, stuff like when you listen to the music back then, it was, even though they had their bullshit, but it was still stuff for the cause though. You know what I'm saying? What was going on? Like when you talk about Tupac, when you talk about, you know what I'm saying, it's just certain people who really talk about those things.
NWA.
NWA.
Eric B. Rakim, you know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy just to kind of, and it's crazy just to kind of put it into the perspective of today. It's like when you listening to NWA, that was a moment of what we seeing today. But the crazy thing is we not hearing but maybe a few, you know what I'm saying, Meek Mill talking about it. Like certain people is in that mode. But a lot of these new kids, when it comes to that generation, is like they not in that mode of really true activism within that music. Which is kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it is a different thought process nowadays. And when you look at it, could it be better? I believe, yeah, shit could be better. But at the same time, it's like you still got to understand why these kids are the way they are. That's just what they are. Like they don't look at things like it's that serious to them. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about affecting that bottom line. But when you talking about like you said, NWA and all that from back in the day, that shit went about their bottom line. Niggas was talking about what was going on in that area.
I mean,
and police brutality.
Even down to the fuck the police track. You know what I'm saying? They was on it. You know what I mean?
Which is how people feel. Which is how people feel today. So it shows you generationally, which is still kind of crazy how police brutality has been police brutality.
Wow.
For as long as it's been police brutality for.
Hey, they've been brutally beating us, but now they put on blast, and that's due to the social media. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, man. So
it's still going on. You know what I mean? It's been going on. Everybody's just, you know what I mean, made aware of it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's brought to the forefront right now. You know what I mean? And everybody's posting and commenting and whatnot. But all of this ain't nothing new.
Exactly.
And within each internal community, hell, you know it's not. You know what I mean? It's now it's just, you know what I mean, broadcasted worldwide.
That's it. So what do you, in your opinion, how do you feel the disconnect got started though? Where do you think it started?
I think, you know what I mean, I think the disconnect really started at the point of between the boomers and Generation X. You know what I'm saying? That's when, like, as I said before, with each generation, we just kind of take things a little bit lighter than the last generation. You know what I mean? The boomers, you know what I mean? The boomers generation was still soulful. Even when you come down to the music was always soulful. You know what I'm saying? Especially, it wasn't. Well, you know what I mean. The hip hop generation and culture started coming into play during the baby boomers generation. But before that, you know what I mean, it was more so R&B. You know what I'm saying? And everything. You know what I mean. Your Marvin Gaye's. You know what I'm saying? So, your Patti LaBelle's. You know what I'm saying?
But they were still speaking about the causes because that was what was going on. It was more relatable to what was going on, and I think that's where it kind of ties into when we talk about that disconnect, because when you talk about in the entertainment world, it's like the causes, which was real back then, it was for those times. Like if you look at the kids today, ain't really too many true causes until this moment when we talking about the George Floyd situation. Still R.I.P. to him, man. That was a very special homecoming.
Rest in peace, George Floyd.
You already know. Shout out to Floyd Mayweather for putting all that together, man. He put that bread out there for all that, man. So shout out to him for that one, man. But yeah, man, it was just looking at that, and I'm still waiting to hear that. Like it's kind of like I'm still waiting to hear that one special to make all of us understand and feel good type of music right now, and I'm not hearing that. Like I'm listening to the radio.
Remember, even with the you know what I'm saying, when the East Coast and the West Coast came, we all in the same gang. You know what I'm saying? When all the artists came together, even had I forgot the other track. Even had Michael in, you know, Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? The artists, they felt compelled to, you know what I mean, send that message out there. You know what I mean? With everything that's going on, you know what I'm saying? That's when the gang violence really started hitting. You know what I'm saying? Even Easy and them had to bow down and come in. Hey, we all in the same game. You know what I mean? They was cripping hard. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think that's where the frustration comes, because what's crazy is my daughter, she was doing a report or doing like some schoolwork based on, you know what I'm saying, some of the old, when they talk about blues and everything like that from back in the day, and how blues was pretty much how slaves pretty, you know what I'm saying, kind of put their stories out there.
It was outlet.
Exactly. And it's like almost relatable to listen to stuff like that compared to listening to something today. You get what I'm saying? Because I can't really, I know what the struggle is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it's like growing up poor. I know what it's like not having everything. I know what it's like, all that stuff. So
man, when I'm hearing you going through you watching TV and all of us on a Tuesday afternoon, all of a sudden,
I had
all the power out, man. You like, hey, you try to run to the front door and catch the electric, you know what I mean? The utility company. Hey, man, hey, exactly. Can you wait for a minute? The check in the mail.
No, I'm watching TV on the box, you know what I'm saying, with the red button on the top for people who don't know how you got that free cable and everything like that back in the day. But it's like, when you hear that and then you think about it from that perspective, it's almost like why that generational disconnect is what it is, because the struggles is just different. It is just very different, man, and people look at things differently.
I don't think the struggle is more so different. I think it's the leadership and the, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot continues to fade away. Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that. I
you know what I'm saying? Agree with that. The hood been the hood regardless. You know what I mean? Now the hustles might have changed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, shit, they might have went from hell, they was cracking heroin back then. You know what I'm saying? It's cracking heroin now, you know what I mean? In the hood, we don't really do too much meth, you know what I mean? But so it's still been the same. Alcohol, weed, and cracking heroin. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's all been the same. You know what I mean? The hood ain't changed.
Nah, it really ain't. You know, and I agree with that. And I agree with that. But it's just the way people move in the hood changed. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what it was. Because even when you look at it from just having conversations, man, from even on the sports side of things, man, because that's what I do. You know, so I coach b-ball and everything like that, and just even looking at it from that perspective, like the grind, man. Like I continuously had these moments with my son when it comes to, it's a process to become great, but a lot of people don't want to hear that. Like, these kids don't want to hear that. They feel like everything is give me everything and then let me skip all those steps and then become where I'm at right now. Right. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, that's not actually how that shit works.
The hard work is just overlooked at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And everything is so, but I mean, you can't blame them because everything is so accessible to them.
That's the thing, man. That's I was talking to somebody about that today, man. Like, everything is in front of these kids today.
Like, handed to them. Where we had to go, you know what I mean, look in the thesaurus, dictionary, you know what I'm saying?
So I knew I knew what a library looked like. Back in the day. You know what I'm saying? These kids don't even know what that shit looked like. It seems like, but the library, I can't just Google it. Nah, how about you actually go research that shit and look some shit up? So it's just the different, man. So so what do you think though? Like, what do you think the disconnect became? Like, what time frame you think it became kind of more prevalent? Like, where it started to kind of really be seen.
It's definitely in the Generation X era. You know what I mean? You know, during the Generation X era, hell, they was publicizing that on the media. Like, damn, this is you know what I mean? We was lost generation. Well, I'm still to find out, I guess. You know what I mean? I was born in '81, so I just missed the Generation X mark. So
technically, we the millennials. Yeah, I'm like 82. Yeah, we the millennials.
I did look up too, as I was saying before, where they got a label called the Exennials between 75 and 85. You know what I'm saying? They kind of, I guess, it's like a bridge between the Generation X and the millennials, because we still have you know what I mean, a bit more. It's still something different about that generation.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I think that generation kind of extended a little bit further beyond its, you know what I mean, its realm. You know what I mean?
I agree.
The music before everything kind of just went kaput with the millennial era.
I agree, and the reason behind that I feel is just because I mean, just looking at it as a whole, I mean, it's just that our generation going into, like you said, the baby boomers generation, we the millennials, so to speak. Then you got that Generation Z. It's like
and people confuse millennials with Generation Z. Myself have been confusing millennials with Generation Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I kind of been thinking about that too. Like when you brought that up to me, I was like, "Dang, that's kind of crazy. I'm a millennial." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like a millennial.
I know. Hey, I've been in conversations with folks, and I'm like, man, hey, it's them damn millennials, man. Is that a millennial thing? You know what I mean? Like,
I would even feel like a millennial for real, to be honest with you. So I'm like, it's kind of crazy, like it just even feel like that. But that's the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what we are. And yeah, we've adopted certain changes, man, and we've had those opportunities and everything like that to really make full change. But I still feel like that baby boomers generation is still the heavy hand on all this right now, because a lot of them dudes is still living.
So during the baby boomers generation, man, especially for the black community, was just major. You know what I'm saying? One, you know what I mean, you had that's when, you know what I mean, things were still segregated. You know what I'm saying? That's when the desegregation happened in what May 17th, 1954. You know what I'm saying? So during the baby boomers era, man, a lot of our lifestyles changed. You know what I'm saying? For the up and coming, you know what I mean, next forever. You know what I'm saying? That was a pivotal point in our community. You know what I'm saying? That changed a lot. You know what I mean? The generation before that. So it's really kind of hard to determine the actual the major breakdown between any of the generations, man. Just because, you know, the generation before that was a silent generation. That's where it was more so, you know what I mean, we were still, you know what I mean, kind of brushed off from being slaves, but we were still segregated, and we were, you know what I mean, in our own communities and doing doing everything on our own.
Yeah.
Own baby boomers generation here. Okay, things were, you know what I mean, we entered into desegregation, and I think that was a major.
That's the Vietnam time.
Yeah. Vietnam, I believe World War II as well. You know what I'm saying? That's when, you know what I mean, everything kind of changed, and you know what I mean. I think that's where, you know, I mean, I'm a advocate of things being said. I believe desegregation was one of the worst things that happened to us, but you know what I mean. I just believe that's where we started. You know what I mean, the beginning of our culture breaking itself down.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. And it was getting to a point to where in the black communities, it started to get a little bit more. We started to come into our own a little bit into that baby boomers time, because that's after the slavery, and when we started to get, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit of power, but not much. Not much that was out there. But we started to talk our shit then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was
we started feeling ourselves a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which rightfully so.
We needed to.
Yeah.
We needed to. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We helped build this country. So why we can't have a say on how we supposed to move in this country? You get what I'm saying? So
straight up.
So it was definitely those moments, and just to kind of get towards the movement side of this conversation, it's like I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, damn, man, movements back then, like it's just really meant something. It was organized. It was,
man, you felt
everybody had a plan.
You felt the movements in your soul, dude.
Come on, man, like it was just real. Like it just felt more real. You know what I'm saying? And just to kind of compare it to a lot of the protests today, it's like it's just so different, man. It's because
it's kind of like the music is watered down.
Yeah, and I just kind of doing some research on it, man. I was like, damn, I seen a question that was kind of crazy. Just doing some research on it. And I was like, one of the questions was, why do more African American millennials than those in the earlier generations believe that blacks have the same opportunities as whites? Like our generation, because we in that millennial, we kind of feel like some of us feel like we got those same opportunities, but some of us in that millennial class who feel like we part of that baby boomer class a little bit feel like I don't really see that. I don't know what that look like. What you think?
I think it's more so like we were saying before. It's the accessibility of everything. You know what I mean? Everything is so easy right now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of the millennials, they not putting in they haven't had to. No, I can't say a lot of the millennials because I'm one. We'll say maybe let's say 90 on up. You know what I'm saying? More than 90 on 90s on up. You know, they ain't doing the hard work that we did. You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
They in the era to where they, you know what I'm saying, and I'm forgive me for saying it, but you know what I mean, lazy. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't working there. Image is everything. I'm not working at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Where you know what I mean, you rather not have a dollar coming in than, you know what I'm saying, work somewhere and have a few dollars coming in.
And they forget that the baby boomers, as you say, when we talk about that issue with the generational disconnect, is where they look at them like, "Oh, you know what we was doing, man, just to make ends meet." You get what I'm saying? And you over here turning down jobs.
Man, we had to work down jobs.
We had to work hard just to be able to get you opportunities to be able to get an opportunity to even get offered that job. And you sitting here,
come on, man.
And that's why they. And I think that's why the older generation
and with the minimum wage being, you know what I'm saying, as high as it is now.
Exactly. And that's why the older generation look at us like sometimes with them funny looks like, I just don't understand y'all.
Like, and they can't, you know what I mean? Not after all the hard work that they put in, you know what I'm saying, to get to where they wanted to be or where they needed to be. I mean,
exactly.
The education has declined. The work ethic has declined. The music has declined. The leadership in the communities has declined. You know what I mean? Everything is declining. You know what I mean? So, and I tied into,
like you know what I'm saying, with accessibility.
With the protesting over George Floyd and everything is beautiful, but you know what I mean. Again, we still don't have solid leadership in our communities. It's all, you know what I mean, it's all faded down. You know, it's almost to the point where it's kind of, we're gonna protest the way our protests are accepted or acceptable the way that we're instructed that we should, you know what I mean, how to protest. This is what hey, we okay, y'all feeling this pain, this is how y'all should protest.
Exactly. And that's why it's hard for people to kind of get involved with these new movements. When you talk about these old civil rights leaders, these old leaders from back then, it's kind of hard for a lot of these people to get into these movements because of that. And it's kind of, and just looking at it, when you think about back then, they was really, really fighting for a true cause. Yeah, and the work ethic, like you said, they really understood the value of that work ethic. I don't think the understanding the value of working for what you want is really acceptable today because, like I said, accessibility. Everything is so easy to get to.
Yeah. So
the new generation is like, I don't hear you, old generation. This ain't the old days. This ain't what it is. This ain't da. And then the older generation looking at the newer generation like, it's still some steps that has to be done before you can get to where you need to be and this, that, and the other. Because the one thing I tell people, and the one thing I always preach to a lot of, you know what I'm saying, to a lot of the kids that I mentor, everything like that, there's no substitution for work. Like, it's no substitution for that. Like you got to
Either
go
way it goes, you don't have to put the work in.
Yeah, anything that you do, there's a process for it, no matter what. It ain't just skipping steps. So I can see why, you know what I'm saying, the frustration sometimes I feel, as I do, you know what I'm saying, because I get it too, the frustration when you look at that new generation and be like, damn, man, like, why y'all not understanding this? Like, what's making y'all so not want to listen to just that part of it? You know what I'm saying? Put the work in. Even when it comes to the process, it's the time into that. You look at it, you like, damn, man, organize. That's all we ask you. We with your cause. And I'm 100% behind everything that's going on right now. I'm 100% behind the protest. I'm 100% behind
March. Carry your protest throughout the city. Don't just show, man. Hey, we gonna meet up at the city county building. You know what I mean? Carry your movement throughout the city. March.
Oh, I tell these kids that, because I said, I mean, to me, I was just talking about it the other day. I was like, no, Black Lives Matter means more to me than just a hashtag. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of these kids, it's not just a hashtag. That shit really means something to some of us who went through that, who go through that. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to be profiled, get pulled over, and ask dumbass questions. Can I do this? Or I need to do this and this, that, and that. Nah, dog, you don't need to do that. So I understand the struggle and the process of just being black in this America. But at the same time, man, the only way we can truly
have a little money in your pocket, and they, you know what I mean, they done pulled you out the car, they found some money in your pocket, you know what I mean? All right, now you search my car. You know what I'm saying?
That's probable cause or this, that, and the other.
Why you walking around with this amount of money? I just got paid. They paid cash. You know what I mean? Literally. You know what I'm saying? I got tools. Hey, I got tools in the car. You know what I'm saying? It's leftover scrap. You know what I'm saying? Electrical devices and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But because I got this money in break my whole damn truck down bring the dogs out. You know what I mean? Took the truck to the station just to have the dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. We with the cause. That's why I tell people with the cause. I remember, man, quick story. I was like, damn, I remember coming home from work, working in Virginia, man. And I fuck around, get pulled over or whatever. These dudes pull me over. So he telling me the reason I pulled you over is because of the tag light. Like your tag light.
Oh, you got that one too?
Yeah. Your tag light is not bright enough. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So he was like, can you step out the car? I was like, can I step out the car for what? You pulled me over for a tag light. And then he got you know how the police do, they got their little flashlight. And like I tell people, being from DC in Virginia,
you face ass.
Yeah. So he like, now mind you, at the time I was working at a car rental spot. So he was like, I see he looking at some dust in my back seat, like, oh, I see some white powdery substance in your back. Hey, that's probable cause for me. I need to search it. No, you don't need to search my vehicle, man. That's like, what are you talking about? And it was kind of crazy. I'm sitting there just looking at that situation, and then the way they made me feel. Because pulling over a black man, why you need 4 or 5 cop cars out there to make it feel like it's a scene when it ain't a scene? You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's the unwritten code with us, man. You know, when you get pulled over and after they get your license and stuff, and when that second car pull up, you be like, oh shit, let me fire up another square or something, man.
No, this early, and it's early 2000. So I mean, it's 2020. So you talking about 18, 19 years ago, and we still dealing with this shit in 2020. So, like I tell young people today, I'm with your cause because I've been a victim of your cause. But at the same time, it's like, you need to, all we asking for is that you organize just a little bit better. That's all we asking. Organize a little bit better. Let's get some true leaders up in there who know what the fuck going on, who can really talk the shit that you need to talk. And then we good with that. That's all that.
You know what, Chuck? Maybe that's something, maybe that's something that me and you need to start working on. Some type of, you know what I mean, some type of movement platform. You know what I mean? We already, you know what I mean, with what we doing now. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that earlier. And I was talking to my guy about it too. He was like, man, hey, y'all are talking, you know what I mean, good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he actually said, was like, y'all might be the ones to, you know what I mean, to regenerate that and start creating that the leadership movement in the communities.
Hey.
You know what I mean? That's something heavy for us to think about. You know what I'm saying? That might be something that we might need to look into.
I agree. I'm with you 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
to educate and show, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It kind of bridged that gap a little bit between the two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just kind of, and to me personally, that's what I think the purpose when you look at the millennials who are really in this activist movement. Mm-hmm. I think that's our job right there. Let's bridge that gap. Let's teach these Generation Zs how to get organized.
Hell, let's teach our fellow millennials.
Exactly. How to get organized.
Yeah.
How to get organized and how to put something together to where they really gonna hit. Because like I said, I still talk about this to this day. Being at the Million Man March, man, that kind of changed a whole lot for me as a black man and as America. Because to see a movement like that and how strong that movement was, I was like, dog.
And that was in your hometown.
That's what I'm saying. That was in D.C.
That was in your hometown. You know what I mean? So I know that had to be, man, that had to be an eye, man. You know what I mean? An eye-opening thing to see all of these, man. You know what I mean? These good, prominent black men show up, you know what I mean? Yo.
And it was across generations. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no disconnect at that moment.
No, everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't make it. But man, hey, when I tell you my old man, my uncles, you know what I'm saying? I had some older cousins, you know what I mean? All of them, all of them there, you know what I mean?
Oh, and I was and I was a young whippersnapper at that time, you know what I'm saying? But just to kind of see that, and I was like, man, this is major. And I feel like today, that's the type of movement I feel that's going to get the change we need when we talking about police brutality, when we talking about some of the changes systemically of what we need in this country. As long as we stay unorganized, the majority is going to always win.
Right.
That's just what it is. So we got to get ourselves to that point. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy. Like I was reading something, and it was, you know, so just to kind of along the generational. Some of the millennials feel like, and some people feel, it says after King was assassinated in 1968, the baton was basically dropped on the street at that moment. Like we literally let these white folks put that fear back into us. Like if you step out of line, we're gonna put you down.
Well, Malcolm carried it temporarily for another hot second.
Yeah.
Then he was assassinated. You know what I mean? But after Malcolm.
But what's crazy though, this is not something.
Hold on. I will say this though. Farrakhan did. You know what I mean? Farrakhan did pick that baton back up. Farrakhan, you know what I mean? You don't see Farrakhan publicized as much anymore. But hey, Farrakhan is still.
But what's crazy is though what the younger generation is saying though, because just to kind of finish off that point, what I was saying was it says for the younger generation, there's not much we can point to since King's assassination that's been accomplished. So they looking at folks like, y'all are not necessarily in a position to tell young activists what to do.
Real deal.
And that's just kind of real to me because I'm like, damn, yeah, when that happened, we still had our movements and we still had things going on when you're going into the 70s, but
I mean,
what's really changed? Like they say, what's really changed? Like when you look at what's going on, like they say, all you gotta do is put a black and white picture on it. It's the same shit.
Yeah, I think the biggest name since King is Barack. Well, no, I mean since King was Malcolm till he, you know what I mean, till he died. Then Barack.
By our own hands, right there.
Ego.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. And then, like I said, like we was talking about earlier, what needs to be said is when you look at the gap when we talk about the movement and why the disconnect is where it's at. Like they said as the movement leaders from back then who took on mainstream, who worked hard to get into these political positions, most of these young activists are saying that Y'all are now the establishment that we was once fighting against.
Yeah.
So now you talking about
that them themselves were worse fighting against. You know what I mean? So
exactly. So now these activists is looking at now these young Generation Z activists is looking at it like, oh, how y'all sitting here telling us how we need to move when at the same time y'all let one situation change the whole course of how y'all move.
Well, I mean,
that's how they looking at it, though. You get what I'm saying? Like
money and agendas, and I can't knock them for it because, and you know what I mean. Hey, and people, you know, I can say it out here because you know I mean we straight to the point. You know what I mean. You know, it's a couple of subjects that I don't discuss with people because I lose friends. You know what I mean? I lose friends and I lose girlfriends or girlfriend interests. You know what I'm saying? And that's religion and politics, but. Same goes for, you know what I mean, all hail the savior, Barack Obama. You know what I mean? Hey, now, after you got in office, now you see all these movies about the struggles, but you know what I mean?
But you got to look at it from that standpoint, too, with the Barack Obama conversation is, you got some who believe in this, even in our generation with the millennials, because for the baby boomers, that was an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To see a black man finally get elected. But in our generation, some of us looking at it as that was the handout white people gave us. Hey, we gave y'all a president, so
dig this. All right, you had what was it? You had Bush 1, right? I think I got in the correct order. Bush 1. You know what I'm saying? Then you had Bill Clinton. You know what I'm saying? And Bill Clinton, I literally heard black folks say, man, that's the next best thing to a black president. They call this man the next best thing to the black president. You know what I mean? It was Bill Clinton. You know what I'm saying? Then we had Bush 2. He tore it up. And you know what I mean? That's when we hit that last recession in 2008, 2010, whatever. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? We was in an uproar. You know what I mean? And what I tell people all the time, you know, the most, forgive my phrase of speaking, but the most complaining and whining people are, you know what I mean, black folks and women. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why Hillary was she was on the, you know what I mean, a point of, you know what I'm saying, a choice in the Democratic, you know what I mean, running point. And, you know what I mean, Barack, which, you know what I'm saying, I say man of color, you know what I'm saying, because his direct, you know, parents, his direct mother was white and his father was African, which is kind of rough right now because we're not liked by either of the two. And then if you want to take it to a spiritual aspect, you know what I'm saying, the book of Revelations, it says, because to be honest with you, I didn't even know where Barack had came from. I just started, you know what I mean, hearing his name as far as running for president. I'm like, Barack. I'm thinking about, you know what I mean, little buddy on Mortal Kombat, Baraka with the blades. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Where he come from? Exactly. But in the book of Revelations, it says that, you know what I mean, with the end of the times, a man of color will come from nowhere and everyone will fall in, you know what I mean, fall in love with him.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's so hard.
We fell in love, but like I said, man, I still look at things, you know what I'm saying, just overall, man, and my mindset is, that's, to me, I looked at, trust me, he did what he could, but what Barack showed me was, even as president, man, we still gotta conform. True. And it's
you have to.
Yeah, it's a point now where people is looking at it, and I'm with these people, man. It's like the conforming part of it, man. I can't really get with, because it's like, let us be us. Let us handle business how we handle business, and stop judging us on how we move. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this, when it comes to us, and that's why I say I feel like when I look at the older generation. And when I look at that time when they was activists and doing what they was doing, that's what they were talking about. It was more of, no, let us be us. The Rosa Parks and everything like that. Let me just sit where I'm sitting at. Why the fuck I have to go to the back when we talking about a seat on a damn bus? So I'm at a point, right? And I think the millennial generation, in my opinion, we can be that bridge and continue to be that bridge to kind of start making the moves necessary to really get this systemic problem we have in this country. We got to start really organizing to get into that movement.
The millennials right now, bro, are the, you know what I mean? We're the switch to where, you know what I'm saying? Either shit's going to get better or shit's just going to be I'll be damned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit gonna get worse.
We're right there. That's our responsibility right now. We are right there. You know what I mean? We can change it, or we can just keep on going the way we going and create, you know what I mean, total and utter, you know what I mean, detriment to our societies. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's where we at with it right now.
Exactly.
And before I get my opinion on it, what do you think? How does that, you know what I mean? How does that forecast look for you as far as, you know what I mean, with our millennials? How does that forecast look for you in that area? In that area? My bad.
To be honest, man, it's cloudy. Okay, it's cloudy, but I think it's cloudy to me because too many people are still afraid, in my opinion, to kind of just take that step out there on the line because they're worrying about the dollar. You know what I'm saying? We are so focused on the financial side of just, hey, we making a little money, we doing what we doing, and everything is why I need to speak out, why I need to speak up, man. I'm just gonna live my life and just do what I need to do. Nah, it's not working that way because what you're seeing right now with these protests and what you're seeing right now as Black people in this world, man, is they still lynching us on national TV now. We still.
What's weird though, Chuck?
Mm-hmm.
If the silent generation was 1925 to 45. Boomers was 46 to 64. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you reverse things, the silent generation, they would love to be in this era right now. Things would be so, you know what I mean? If you take their actual, you know what I mean, them in the physical and put them in this era right now, they would love to, this would be a cakewalk.
Too easy.
You know what I'm saying? For them right now. You know what I mean? And
to make the moves that they need to make.
Real deal. Even with the boomers, you know what I mean? With the boomers coming up, you know what I mean? This would be a cakewalk.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You talking about social media, you talking about everything that's going on. You put Malcolm X, Martin, or anybody in this generation, that's when you start to really get that organized change, that change everything. That it's
I'm surprised I don't hear Farrakhan on. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I haven't been. You know what I mean? Watching Farrakhan, but I'm surprised I ain't seen him. You know what I mean? On social, I'm sure he probably does have some type of platform where you can view him. You know what I mean? But I'm surprised I don't see him flooding it. But imagine if you had Malcolm and Martin with Facebook and Instagram, dude.
Come on, man. In this generation, it wouldn't be no disconnect. It'd be organized and everybody know what the hell going on.
And I'm gonna say this too. From the silent generation to the boomers still, you know what I mean? It was a certain level of respect for the generation before. The generation prior.
And to me, that's the big thing. That respect word is the big thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
we carry values.
Yeah, we understood what was going on. Yeah.
Even from the music.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I keep saying, like I'm agreeing with you when you talk about the millennials being that bridge. Be that bridge between that older generation and this new generation. Like we're right there in that middle. You know what I'm saying? We can bridge the gap, but we need that Generation Z to really want to listen. I get it, man. Like the activist part of it, man. I'm 100 with y'all, but at the same time, it's like
with us. if we hit a barbecue in the summertime, hey, it's already known. You know, hey, certain, you know what I mean, certain records are gonna get spin. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? A barbecue ain't a barbecue without certain music being played, and that's from our predecessors. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but now if you take, now we got Generation Z coming up behind us, you start playing certain records. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We still go, you know what I mean? We still gonna feel that pain and that struggle in them songs. Hell, not even just the pain and struggle. Hell, the love and happiness too. Love and happiness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. We gonna feel them words. You know what I mean? Because the authenticity of things is breaking down as the generations. You know what I mean? As the generations change.
Exactly, and that's the big thing, man. Like, we got to get back to that point.
Yeah.
To where we start really, like you said on the last show, man, we got to get back to that point where we just really got to start embracing more of each other. Start really loving each other. That's how we going. To me, that's how we really going to fix this generational disconnect that we are having, especially in our society. Like, we got to get to a point. Like I said, we with everybody. We want everybody voices to be heard.
Oh yes.
It's a way. It's a way for your voice to be heard, man. And like I said, we not here to tell people you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I'm not like, that's not us. That's not what this show is about. We not here to tell you how to move. You know what I'm saying? We just here to give our opinions on what could possibly help. You know what I'm saying? To make your movement that much stronger.
And let me let everybody be clear too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What you see on the show is just a product. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Of our conversations. You know what I mean? We talk about, we think about ways that we can change things, or things that we might be able to do in the community, and you know, things that we are
to
doing.
make things better, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And
we'll come up with a public way of displaying it. But you know what I mean? I just want to make, because you know, some people might get the, oh, well, who would they say? What the hell are they doing? You know what I'm saying? No, we all
trust me.
Actively every day. You know what I mean? When I tell y'all Chuck calls me about 7:30 in the morning, I'll be like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's on it. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me.
We are working we are working on ways of bridging these gaps. You know what I'm saying? We are working on ways of bringing artists together. You know what I mean? Bringing up our you know what I mean, our positive artists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And, it's more to come. You know what I mean? It's just this is the beginning platform.
That's it, man.
Where I want us to be is to be an iconic, pivotal point in our African American communities.
That's it. That's all we want to do, man. Like I said, man, this platform is for us to take care of our own, man. And that's what we about.
Big money, no problems is no cliche. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody is chasing big money, and they don't want the problem. You know what I mean? You always hear more
problems that come with it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? More money, more problems.
That's just what it is.
We want the money, we want the wealth, we want the prosperity, but we don't want, you know, the negativity. The
issues that come with it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to, you know what I mean, progress, process, you know what I mean, as us, as young Black entrepreneurs.
Just trying to
without the headache. You know, that's what everybody, I mean, hell, that's the Black American dream, to have big money and not have no damn problems.
Exactly.
And embrace family. You know what I mean? What to say?
There you go. So as we get to the end of this, you already know. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else matters but family. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So as we get to the end of this show, man, like I said, we appreciate y'all for listening, as we always do. You know what I'm saying? We just felt like we had to have a conversation, me and AG. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all get a sense of what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? And we felt like this conversation had to be had. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully y'all got some things that could kind of help bridge these gaps between, you know what I'm saying, the generations, and hopefully we can get to a point to where we can start to understand each other a little bit better, especially in our community, because we all we got at the end of the day. We all we got, man. And Ain't
Love and
nobody else
educate.
taking care of us.
Love and educate without fear.
There you go. Exactly what he just said.
Love and educate without fear. Yeah.
Exactly.
Embrace
so AG,
this.
man, let the people know how they can reach out to us, man.
You can reach us on Instagram at BMNP
_ENT.
Same thing on Facebook. Big Money No Problems Casting at gmail.com.
Anything, man. Y'all want us to talk about anything, man? Send that shit to us, man. Send us the conversation to us, man. We're gonna do
exactly.
We're gonna do our research, man. We're gonna put that together. Man, we're gonna talk about it.
Hey, them DMs on Instagram, you know what I mean? Keep them coming, you know what I mean? On Facebook, keep them coming, whatever, you know what I mean? Send it to the direct email. You can also find us at on SoundCloud and on all major podcast platforms. You know,
there you go.
Check us out.
Yeah.
Hey,
already know.
We ain't new to it. We true to it, and we here to stay.
Already, you know what I'm saying? Content, everything moving, man. We gonna keep it moving. We gonna keep it going, man. Like I said, continue to support us. Make sure y'all subscribe to us, man. Continue to download from us, man. We just hit it, man. We straight into the point when it comes to these conversations on Big Money No Problems podcast. So, man, we don't hold nothing back. We don't hold no punches. Like AG said, man, we here to stay. We ain't going nowhere.
Welcome to the movement. And it's a progressive movement.
You already know, man. So once again, man, we appreciate y'all, man, for y'all listeners, man. Continue to support. One love, man. Peace.
Peace.